Today is Yom Ha'Atzma'ut. I would like to speak about the day and its significance. I'm going to show you first a short video to remind people. It's certainly not comprehensive, but a short video about what the celebration of the event is. Actually doesn't have the official Declaration of Independence of the State of Israel in this video, but the official Declaration of the State of Israel was read on Friday, May 14th, which was the 5th day of Iyar in 1948, Tavshin Ches, to the people who were assembled in Tel Aviv for the purpose, and quickly dispersed afterwards because it was Erev Shabbos in the afternoon. Really, the mandate was officially over at midnight, but that would be the Shabbos already, so therefore earlier in the afternoon they already declared independence before Shabbos began in order to give people, Shomer Shabbos, enough time to get home for Shabbos. Only people from Tel Aviv were there. People from Yerushalayim were not able to make it because there was a siege on Yerushalayim and people could not get out in order to come to Tel Aviv. The place was left for them to sign the Declaration of Independence at some future date. The events in the short film clip really show more background material, but that was the event which took place. David Ben-Gurion, the first Prime Minister of the State of Israel, leader of the provisional government at that time, read the declaration to the assembled people, and people on the dais signed the declaration, and Israel is an independent state. Now, I want to focus a little bit today on the word Atzma'ut itself. And the word I made you a very, very small handout from the etymological dictionary of the Hebrew language according to Rabbi Shtam Sol Hirsch. It's a fascinating dictionary because it doesn't give definitions so much as word derivations, according to Rabbi Shlomo Hirsch's perspective on things. And excuse me, the word Atzmut, independence, comes from the word etzem, which here means to store power. That's Rabbi Shlomo Hirsch translates the actual word, to store power. It's if you think about it, the word etzem comes from the word eitz, with a mem at the end. Eitz is a tree. A mem at the end is a mem sophis. A mem sophis is a letter which is completely closed. So the eitz, the growth, is stored. It's locked in, and it becomes separate. It doesn't span out. It becomes separate and grows within itself. Okay, and etzem is the growth locked in. And if you think of a bone, which is really what an etzem, another word, the same word with a different meaning, a bone locks in the strength of the marrow, its own strength, it's self-contained, and it is actually something which grows, but inside the body. So the marrow is contained inside the bone is inside the body. The eitz, that growth thing, is locked in. It's inside something else. So an etzem, also, if you take a look here, means several other things. It means to strengthen, like it says, atzum hu mimeni, strengthening when something was made more powerful. Increasing numerically, atzum ma'od, when something is very, very much of something. Shutting and closing. Remember, closing is like putting a mem around the eitz. Like otseme namir os, when somebody shuts their eyes, it's called atzimas einayim, closing one's eyes. Vigor. Vigor means when one is very, very much in shape. Those who have no power, Hashem will give them tremendous vigor, tremendous power. Bone, as Atzmos saying, you go rain, their bones will be crushed. And this is the one which I find the most important, which is essence. My essence is not, it has not been hidden from you. Pasuk in Tehillim. And the essence of a person, the atzmius of a person, is his inner self, that which is power, the power which is stored within the person. The atzmius of a country, the atzma'ut of a country, is the power which is stored within the country, within the nation. The atzma'ut of Yisrael, the freedom, I should not say freedom in this case, right? The independence of Am Yisrael means that it is now not dependent on others. It's independent, meaning, as Bilam said, they're a nation unto themselves. What does it mean, nation unto themselves? That they have a unique essence which now they're able to develop. This, in fact, is one of the great historical arguments concerning the state of Israel. It is the essence of the state of Israel as it has developed over the 70 plus years. The essence which we want to see developed, but the essence which we did not want to see developed. What is defined as the Atzma'ut, the etzem of Israel? That is the question which is ongoing for 70 some odd years. And there's no one answer to it because, obviously, like most things in life, it's not black and white, it's gray. To a certain extent, Atzma'ut is good. To a certain extent, Atzma'ut is bad. Some people today make jokes that with President Trump, the people who are against President Trump, they make jokes about perhaps we should go back to Queen Elizabeth. We should renounce our independence and go back to being part of the British Empire. So too, perhaps there's some people who would feel that Israel should renounce its independence and go back to being part of the British Empire, part of the British Mandate. But generally speaking, the overwhelming majority of people today feel that the state of Israel is a gift to us from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that this gift to us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, is an opportunity to fulfill the many different essential missions which Am Yisrael has in this world. It's interesting that the opposite, if you see here on the back, he brings down cognate words, which words that sound similar, have meanings which are related. And he has here the word, last one is asham, which we translate usually as guilt. So in this sense, he says it means to destroy the inner self. A person who is guilty has destroyed their inner self. If they do tshuva, of course, they can restore it. But the shame destroys their self. The person who is atzum, who is mitatseim, builds their inner self. And that is really something which we, especially this time when we can't, those of us who would go out and celebrate, cannot go out and celebrate in any event because of the coronavirus, when in fact Israel is under lockdown for Yom Ha'Atzma'ut. So instead of focusing on the public celebration, which would normally be the case, it's a good year to focus on what Atzma'ut means for me. Meaning, how would I define my essence, and how would I then strike out my independence? What does my independence mean? It means that what I represent on my own, independently and separately from what other people might perceive me. We all grow up responding to perceptions of others, perceptions of parents, perceptions of friends, perceptions of spouse, perceptions of children, grandchildren. Everybody to a certain extent defines themselves by other people's perceptions of them. But somebody who's atzma'i, somebody who's independent, doesn't define themselves that way. In fact, tries to define themselves on their own by what inside of them. And that is supposed to be the source of a person's vigor and strength in life. A person's strength and vigor in life is supposed to be the essence, the eighth within themselves, that which gives them growth, that which gives them upliftment, that which leads them to be able to continue to, so to speak, come to fruition, like a tree comes to bear fruit. And it's interesting that the last couple of meetings, one of them is lawsuit evidence. It's an interesting idea. Actually, in Hebrew, I believe, if I recall correctly, modern Hebrew, an atzuma is a petition, which is related to lawsuit evidence. When you're trying to bring evidence in a lawsuit, you have to bring something which proves that what you're saying is true. And you can only prove what you're saying is true, ideally, unless you're cheating or deceiving, if you have inner truth. So that which is inner truth becomes then that which you can display to the world of evidence of the truth which you represent. And finally, it gives a person invincibility. Always about tzumos la'am. Now, nobody's invincible in this world. Of course, you see in the coronavirus, many people have unfortunately fallen ill and Rahman al-Islam died. But the sense of invincibility does not mean that a person is invincible in a physical way, but in a spiritual way. If a person has that atzmius, that etzem, if a country has that atzmius, that etzem, that it is invincible to things which try and destroy, to make it a shame, destroy its inner self, destroy its mission. It is not then, if you look at this page again, Chasham cannot be silenced. Chasam, it cannot be obstructed because of Hasam, what it has stored within it. And that means that everything a person accomplishes in this world is because they have an Atzma'ut. Everything a person becomes in this world is because they have an Atzma'ut. Everything a nation accomplishes is because of its Atzma'ut as well. And the Atzma'ut of Am Yisrael is the Atzma'ut which determines which comes from its essence and determines its mission. We know that from our perspective as Torah Jews, what defines the etzem of Am Yisrael is our relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and our place in the effort l'sakein olam malchus Shaddai, to bring about the fixing of the world with the kingship, with the independent governance of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world. We shall be zeicha on this day to Yom Ha'Atzma'ut to take to heart with Hakaras Hatov what HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us in order to establish our mission and purpose as a nation, as individuals in this world, and take it forward in order to bring about as much as we possibly can our personal our personal mission, our personal our personal power and vigor in coming to bring about Ratzon Hashem and Kiddush Hashem in this world. In this sense, to everybody, Yom Ha'Atzma'ut Sameach. It'll be a day of Atzmius for all of us, and that will bring us all to great Simcha. And now I will show you the video, and for my students, you should take notes on the video as well.
Television highlights of the news of yesteryear.
Take one.
Here's Great Britain's General Allenby of Near East Command in 1917, as Balfour Declaration gives renewed hope to Jews of promised land. In months that follow, with ink on Balfour packed still wet as waves, these waves of the Mediterranean Sea, Jews pour into the wasted and sandy acres of ancient Palestine, a home of their own at last. But blossoms will bloom in desert if toil and trouble can do what nature has not done. Out of sun-dried earth the first year, here comes the meager harvest. Hotland parasites and pests will not contaminate this second laboriously planted crop. Where there was last year nothing but miles of waste, a people's gardens grow. And out of the land of sand, barren and abandoned to a burning sky, the seeds of a city bloom. The machinery of modern times is missing, but strength is not. And soon a city of 40,000 people shines in the desert sun where there was nothing but wind and sand before. And they call it Tel Aviv. In New York City in May of '48, American Jewry joins the freedom-loving peoples of the world to celebrate the thrilling news. United Nations laws have established Palestine as a free and independent state, to be known as Israel. And there's one bold star on a brave new flag waving among the proud banners of free nations. But bounded on all sides by hostile Arab states, Israel calls its world's newest nationals to arms, for infant Israel is threatened with brevity and the breaking of a promise that couldn't keep. With Arab invasion imminent, Haganah troops abandon underground activities to train for open war. First Arab attacks are fierce, and tribal troops make quick work of conquest in Old Jerusalem. Ancient metropolis of Holy Land would not yield to ravages of time, But savage assault by attacking Arabs turns the sun-baked city into a broken, burned-out battlefield. Looting follows the Arab smash as new home of once homeless Jews becomes a grab bag of victory, and rubbish burns in the battle-ruined streets. Proudly surveying captured Jerusalem is tribal potentate Glub Pasha, looking at ruins around him with probably eye to what the rest of infant Israel will look like when Arab troops attack again. But Jewish troops still hold their new-won home. And there is promise that they'll keep what they still have as Count Folke Bernadotte of Sweden and the United Nations effects a truce. On Isle of Rhodes in 1949, Count Bernadotte is mortal angel of hope to those who wait for calm, fair, and friendly end of differences in Holy Land. But assassins only wait with guns. The cannon of war are stilled by the days of truce, but Arab-invaded Israel is not quiet. Here's David Ben-Gurion, new nation's prime minister, who solemnly reminds his people that truces don't last forever. But with renewal of hostilities, Haganah troops hit invading Arabs hard, and every armed encounter is victory for Israel. Hundreds of marauding Arab soldiers are suddenly peace-loving prisoners of war, and are grateful for the kindness and generosity of the victorious Israeli soldiers. Tribesmen who would have wrecked the infant state are fed because the new nation is too strong for destruction. With Israel's strength now making lasting peace a possibility, the ailing Dr. Chaim Weizmann takes office as the new nation's first president. Called from the United States to lead newborn Israel in problems of peace, Zionism's elder statesman at long last sees his years-old dreams of a promised land come true. Now the ancient wanderers will have a home. And helping to make that home secure, here's Nobel Prize winner Dr. Ralph Bunche of the United States and the United Nations. His plans for settlement of Holy Land dispute gives Jews at last a piece of earth and patch of sky that they can call their own.